Estêvão was playing up front. Estêvão did not actually really come back to the side to help Gusto. So he was leaving Gusto to
exposed.
Yes, he was leaving Gusto exposed in that game.
I think that was a coach's plan. I still
no, it was not really. No,
it could be because if it wasn't a coach's plan, the coach would have called him to order.
No, sometimes when you are playing football on the pitch, the coach might be far away from you. Most times it's not everything that the coach tell you to do.
I think there were times that the coach Estêvão was closer to the coach.
Yeah, but that is where experience comes. I've said it before that Estêvão is not a bad player. He's good, but he's still very young. You might not understand every tactics on the field.
What you need to understand is that Estêvão at some point in time he was tired. I know he just came from Brazil.
We are saying the same thing.
To the Premier League. So the pace of the league is still affecting him somehow. I wouldn't really blame him, and I still believe that he was playing under the instruction of the coach. If he wasn't defending, because naturally he's an attacker.
Yes, of course.
So you don't expect him to be attacking and coming from a different league, playing a different pattern, coming from that league to the Premiership, you attack and defend as well.
Yeah, of course.
What matters most is it depends on a player that has been playing in the league, that understands the league very well. Is a player that can play that kind of game. You understand me?
True. Then the second half, what gave Chelsea an edge was the halftime victory, because coming back to the second half with a 1 goal, I think that was a confidence booster when they came into the second half. They have that confidence that they are leading, so they began to come into the game, and by then Fulham have already exhausted. And for Fulham, it's going to be a lesson, because when you are playing against a big team, against Man United, they did it. Man United scored them first, and then they came from behind. Back. But Chelsea and Man, you are not in the same standard right now in terms of performance. So Chelsea wouldn't have allowed them to that kind of opportunity to come back. So when you are playing against a bigger team like that, when you are playing well at that moment, if you see your chance, you should be able to convert your chances at that moment. But unfortunately, they did not. So Chelsea was ahead, and that is why the most thing I love about Chelsea was that they showed attitude of
that character.
Yeah, that character. Yes, that winning mentality. Because you might not really play all the time, but you must always know that this game you must get that 3 points at no matter how you play.
But what you should understand in a game, goals changes the complexion of a game.
Of course.
And once it changes that complexion, it boosts up your morale, and that confidence comes back.
Yeah.
And that will enable you play your game the way you are supposed to play. If you came with a game plan, that will enable you execute your game plan, because now the opponent will be sitting back or attacking depending on their own plans that they came with. You understand? So that goal gave them their confidence, brought back their confidence, and that was the icing on the.
How about the second goal? The second goal, leading to the second goal, we have some kind of controversies as well. In terms of Iwobi, Casido matching Iwobi, the referee did not spot that. Casido, then the other part, Pedro too, pushing the defender. He pushed a little bit because the defender lifted before him, and then there was a push. You might tell me that the push was not that strong.
No, that wasn't the controversy. The controversy was that
maybe it was a handball.
Yes, that was what they talked about.
There was a push there too. They talked about the push.
They talked about the push, but what they really emphasized on was the handball. You understand, in their 80-yard box. But when they showed the VAR reviewed it, they noticed there was no handball, and the foul that you thought that there was a foul on UOB. Caicedo kicked the ball out. Took the ball out from Iwobi's leg.
But there was a little bit
of
stepping on Iwobi.
But he touched the ball first.
It does not matter whether you touch the ball first. If you touch the ball, does not mean you use cutlass and kick.
No, it doesn't. No. The foul on Iwobi wasn't a malicious foul.
There's no malicious, not a malicious foul.
No, there's malicious foul. There's malicious foul in football.
Foul is a foul. I remember in Nations Cup when Iwobi got red card against Tunisia, so it was not a malicious foul, but because it's foot, because the boot was open.
But in the Caicedo's case, it wasn't like that.
No, we're not talking about red card. I'm not about.
I said in Caicedo's case, it wasn't like that. Caicedo tapped the ball away from his leg, and his boots were not open.
That was not tapping. Remember what led to Fulham first goal that was cancelled was because Chalobah was stepped on. Despite the build up to the goal. Yes, despite that the ball was in possession of the Fulham player. So if you are telling me it's not malicious,
let me tell you what. Let me school you a little. In the build up to the goal, there was a serious foul on Chalobah. Had it been that foul wasn't there, that ball would have been a goal.
But it was not malicious as well.
It was malicious because
How was it malicious? Because the player was in possession.
If you can review it now, we see that the foul on Chalobah was a malicious one, and that's a career-ending foul.
Okay, was that penalty a right call from the referee? Yes or no?
But in the case of Caicedo on Iwobi, he tapped the ball away from Iwobi mistakenly. His foot touched it.
No, there's nothing like mistaking in football.
It wasn't an intentional act.
There's nothing like mistaking in football.
It wasn't an intentional act. Even the VAR reviewed it. The referee was called to watch it and he reviewed it.
But to me today, the referee was not consistent with his officiating.
Yes, it wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent.
He was a bit biased. Not biased because Chelsea paid him or Fulham paid. No, I felt like he was skeptical in terms of
decision making.
So he was feeling like, if I made a decision, is it the right decision or something like that? So
but it went either way.
But more to Chelsea.
No, I
this has happened to Arsenal or Liverpool or Man U. All the Chelsea fans will have been shouting, Man U they do, Man U they do. But now it's favoring Chelsea now. Nobody said
the second goal, wasn't it a penalty?
For me, he will have cancelled that goal because one, there was a foul on Iwobi. Two, there was a push in the 18. So that two controversies alone inside that 18 was not supposed to be allowed.
But that's your opinion.
Yes, I'm saying to my own opinion.
But the goal stood.
Well, let us talk about Iwobi, Kavibasi, and then Tosi Adarabioyo because they are our players. They are Nigerian players in this game. At least 3 of them features in this game. They featured and they played really well somehow. But I am somehow not really satisfied with Kavibasi and Tosi. Because we are looking at the World Cup.
Nigerian player.
Yes, he have declared his intention to play for Super Eagles,
but he has not been called up yet.
Yes, he has not been called up yet. But for now, at least we are expecting that Tosi will play for Nigeria. We are expecting that to see a player like Tosi in the Super Eagles. But no, Tosi in Fulham is not the Tosi I'm seeing in Chelsea. Because firstly, the Tosi I'm seeing now, somehow Tosi is not giving me that ruggedity that I need from a centre back. A centre back, if you watch today's game, you see Chalobah, a defender at any given time should always forget that there's a goalkeeper in your post.
But what you need to understand.
I don't know. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me just tell you something. I'm trying to analyze so that you can know the point I'm coming from. As a defender, you should always forget that there's a goalkeeper in your post.
Behind you.
Look at the way Chalobah is playing. Yeah. Anytime Chalobah spots any dangerous pass or dangerous play, Chalobah will throw his body to that ball. He will throw his body to the ground. But Tosi sometimes play as if he's too careful.
No,
he's too cautious.
There's no way two players will be the same. Chalobah and Tosin, they play different types of football. Chalobah is more rugged than Tosin. Tosin is more clinical than Chalobah. You understand me? So Chalobah and Tosin in his own part today didn't come for the ruggedity. He came to play clean football. And you understand that he was always the last man. So any slight mistake that he does within that 18-yard box, it will be a penalty.
But look at the goal Fulham scored. Look at the goal Fulham scored.
Yes, it can happen. Was disallowed. No, it can happen to any defender. There's no defender that's above dribbling. That cannot be dribbled.
Of course.
You understand me?
Course.
It depends on where the build-up of the game and where he was coming from. Remember that Tosin was a little bit far from the striker before he had to cut the ball. I wouldn't blame Tosin for anything like that because it has even happened to a lot of greater defenders than Tosin. Some people like Marco Materazzi, Cellini, this other guy from former AC Milan legend. You know, so there's no player, the defender that they don't dribble and score.
True. Then on Calvin Bassey's side, I feel like Calvin Bassey needs to reduce weightlifting. He needs to reduce, because he needs to add more flexibility to his training because I feel like it's not being flexible enough. Remember, this thing affected him in Ajax because there was a time he was too heavy. As a centre back, you are not supposed to be too heavy, but you're supposed to be rugged and flexible because you might miss some sneaky. Look at the way Estêvão was making use of that.
That responsibility is meant to be directed to his dietitian. In the case of Calvin Bassey, the player you are marking is a more flexible and quicker player. So I didn't see that. I didn't think that Calvin Bassey did badly in that game. It was because he was marking somebody like Estêvão Willian, which is more flexible.
It's not because of Estêvão. Even the goal that Pedro scored, the first goal, Pedro came from front to head that ball in front of Calvin Bassey.
Yeah, but he was calculating. Calvin Bassey wouldn't see Pedro when he was coming. Pedro jumped in his front. he was stagnant. He was stagnant.
That is what I'm saying. That flexibility comes in.
But,
flexibility comes in if you are in your 18-yard ball. You need to stand on your toe. You need to be at alert. You need to be watching.
Yes,
you need to look around. You need to
player,
always bounce on your toe.
A player that is more calculative and mobile, when he's coming, you that as a defender, you will not understand his intention. You don't know if he's coming to nod the ball or he's coming to sell out for another person to nod. So I wouldn't blame Kevin Bassey. It happens like that in football.
Well, no problem. That is a good one. I hope after this game they are going to learn a lot from there.
But because if you see Kevin Bassey against Man U, he did pretty well.
A bit better.
Yeah. So it depends on your opposition and depends on the attacker that you are marking. So that's what I think. Because I believe he was thinking, if I should follow Pedro, what about Gustavo? Estêvão could be behind him. So that I believe that indecision affected caused the goal.
All right. It was a good one. Chelsea 2, Fulham 0. Chelsea on the right path. Hoping to see them next week.
7 points.
Yeah,
on
7
top
points.
of the league.
Yeah, 7 points. No problem.
See other people plays. Thank you.